So to design, we will start with learn. Now this learn, first of all, let's go to the shape, to the font. If we now have to change the style, we have to stylize them, design them out. And the first thing to do with that text is to add the appropriate font. Now I want to tell you that there are already available fonts on your Pixel app. All you just need to do is click on font and you will access them. You access the list. Go through them and pick out the particular font you want to use. Apply it. You can see the preview up here. So when you apply it, you'll see how it is stylized up here. You have a preview there, and if you are okay by it, you just click on OK and you add it to your design. Now, I am going to create another video subsequently in the course of this tutorial to show you how you can import and add fonts to your Pixel Lab application. So expect it. Now I want to add choose the exact font that was used on our sample image. It's Bugalo Regular. Let me search for Bugalo Regular. Bugalo Regular, yes. Bugalo Regular. Okay, this is it. So I found it. Yes, I've gotten it. So I click OK. Now, if you look at that font up here, and you look at our template, our sample template here, you discover that it is the same font, right? Isn't it? Okay, good. Now, we have that added. No color. We leave the color at white. So we click on it. Now, we have to centralize it and lock it up. Okay? We have to centralize it and lock it up. And that's the end for that particular. So to centralize it, we click on it, go to relative position, or to position. For text is positions, is position tool, while for shape is relative positioning tool. Okay, so we go to the learn. Let's go to, okay, for text, it's, anyways, don't mind me. Relative position. And then click on that tool, centralize, bring the letter to the center. If you hit the one down here, it's going to bring your text down to the middle. We don't want that. We want the text to be where it is, where up there, but at the center. So it's at the center already, right? Okay, now we have achieved that. Let's go to our layer and lock learn up with the key button so that it cannot move anymore. If we go back and we try to move it, you see, it's locked into place. Now, the next text we're working on, we're designing is the graphics. Now, this graphics, I think I use an Allure RG font. So let's click on it, go to the font. Let's go to the font button, click on it and search out that particular, Allure's RG button, font. I've added it, that's exactly the font. So come down here. Now, you see, we now have our graphic design text stylized with the particular font as it is in our sample image. Now, if you look at it, there is a color, the gold color applied to the design, our sampled image design for the graphic design. But so we have to add the color here. But in this situation, we're not going to add the color from our Pixel Lab, available Pixel Lab colors. We're not going to do that from clicking on the color button. We're going to import the color material from our gallery into our design here. So we click on the graphic design text, and then we go to texture. Click on texture and then import. Click on the import button sign, and then import our color from the color we want to use from our phone gallery. In this case, I want to use this. You have already downloaded it, so just simply import it. Follow the same process as I've done. Go to the color. I want to shape out the middle part where that is brighter and apply it to my text. Play around with this, however you want to do it, as long as it's look beautiful. That is actually the point, and it helps you to sharpen, your sense of aestheticism, so that you can tell when something is beautiful from just looking at it and when it's not. As a graphic designer, you must have a high sense of aestheticism. Thank you. let's continue. And so we have highlighted the center part which is brighter. We click on it, right? Click on OK, and you see our text is now looking like the one in the in the uh, in the sample image, right? Now, I want to increase the text. I want it to be bolder. I want it to cover up. I don't want this text to be choked in the middle. How do I do that? I increase the text by going to the size tool. You know, here it's the text is 110. I want it 130. Let's make it 130. I'll increase it here. The shortcut is I use this button to increase it and bring it to 130. Let me reduce it to 130. Yes, I have 130. So what I want to do now, I want to centralize it so that my text is centralized. I want it to cover all, to be bold, because that's what we're doing, right? Graphic design. You see, you get the logic, right? Of course you do. Now, we have that in place. We are done with that particular text. So we go to the layer and lock it up. That is the end of the story for that particular text. We're done with it, right? Now, if you look, the text is overlapping to the right, to the left than the right. It means that that particular text, while I was typing it out, there was a space in the front. So to deal with that kind of problem, just go to the edit. Here you can see that there's a space after design. Let me cover it up. That is it. I've dealt with it. So all I just need to do now is centralize it, and it will be balanced both on the left and the right part. See? Now it looks better. It's centralized now. Now the next text we want to work it is with you. And for it, we want to reduce the size. Looking from the sample image, you can already tell what the size is. So let's reduce the size. Go to the size button and reduce it to, let's reduce it very well. Let's do 80 first and see how it goes. Let's do 80 and see how it goes. Remember, we haven't add our font. Before we resize, we actually need to add our font first before we resize. Else you will be doing the whole thing all over again after adding font, because each font has its own default size. Some fonts are tiny in nature and others are larger. So we're using the Bugalo regular font as well. So you see, yes, we have achieved that. Yes, 80 is okay. So we bring it to the middle, or wherever it is, let's just stylize and centralize it by clicking the bring to center button. Not bring to the middle button. There's bring to the middle and there's then the bring to the center. So let's bring it to the middle by clicking the top button at the middle here. See, it has come to the middle. That is what we want. We are done with that particular text. Let's lock it up in the layer section by clicking the key button, and we're done with it. See? Chicken, we're done with that particular text. The next we want to work on now is the smartphone text. We click on it. Let's add the font, please. Let's add the font first before we increase, stylize, add color and everything. Okay, so we go and add the font. Look for the font, click on it. I think we're using the same Bugalo regular font, so we click on it. Yes, exactly, that's the font down here. Okay, so if we look at it now, we see that that's we need to broaden it. It's a little too small for my liking. So let's increase it by going to the size tool. It's 110. Let's increase it to 120 or I want it bold. Oh, it's even at 159. Okay, let's leave it this way, right? Let's leave it. I want it to come out a bit there. I want this text before it to go up, so we're going to work on that too. So let's take the previous text that with your upward, so that by going to the positioning button here and clicking top, take it up. Yes, let's see how it looks. It's too close to the graphic design, right? Isn't it? Okay, let's take it down a bit. Let's highlight it and bring it down a bit. But this time we're not going to use that value there. Let's reduce the value and then bring it down ourselves. I think it's better. Yes, this is better. Then now let's position our smartphone next to it and bring it to the middle by centralizing it, and that is it. As we can see, it's a bit too close for comfort, so we drop it. That is it. Now we're going to use we're going to select from among the available colors on Pixel app to apply to our smartphone text here. How do we achieve that? We go over to the color button and we click on color. Now we are in the color section, and you can see the colors on the row, the color aligned on the row. Now, if you notice from our image here, our sample image, you notice that there is a yellow, goldish yellow color that was applied to the smartphone text on it. Now, if you look at it closely, you realize that that color applied isn't just a plain color. You find that at the top, it is lighter. At the bottom, it is thicker or a bit darker. That is called a gradient. That style of color is a gradient. It's a situation where two colors are mixed together into one. It's called gradient. Now, we'll have to achieve that because we'll go to the gradient part of our picture, our color tool, and let's go to the color tool. Now, how do we get the gradient for our design? There's only one way we can do that, and that's by, let's click on the smartphone. Then we go to the color tool. That's by clicking the gradient button. After clicking the gradient button, we go through the rows of color gradients. You're seeing different gradients here. After scrolling through it, you may not find the gradients you want to apply to your design. So how do you achieve it? You simply click on this positive sign button, and you are now in your gradient. Now you see we have a different gradient here. How do you add it? If you remember from our image, you find that the thicker side, the darker side is down, while the lighter part is up here. So to achieve that, let's start by applying the darker side. We click here to edit, to highlight it by placing this red sign. That's once the red outline shows that it's highlighted, and we click on this oil bucket here, and we are now in our RGB, our color artboard. Now, how do we get that color? Now we notice that the kind of color we have there is just not yellow. You can use this to pick out whatever color you want to use. But it is better when probably you're designing something of your own, you can do that. But in this particular situation, we want to achieve something that is very closer, similar to our pre-made image template. So for us to get something closer to it or like it, we have to have the same color as it. And there's a way we can do that. All we just have to do is come to here. Now you discover there is a pen sign here. You click on it. That shows you how you can add your RGB, edit them. Probably you have a number already you want to input here to give you the particular color you're looking for. You can just input it here. Okay, all right. But if you want to pick the exact color, you want to have the exact color of what you already have that you're using as a sample, all you just need to do is click on this second option, which the sign there is, the tool there is called the Eyedropper Tool. Once you click on it, it will take you to the editing page. Here we are. Now, if you look up here, if you look here, you'll see that there is an array of our picture, our sample image. Clicking on it has brought it out for you. Okay, you see our background image is there. Now, probably want to pick a color from our background image, probably this color here. All we just need to do is move this round circle here, which is the eyedropper tool, to whatever color we want to pick. The moment you pick on the color of your choice, you look up here, you find the color displaying on the preview. If you want to pick something different, you go to that thing and you'll see it on the preview. Now, what we want to do, we want to pick a color from the smartphone text in our sample image. Now, what do we do? And we don't just want to pick any color. What we want to do is pick the exact dark goldish yellow color as in available there. So we go to our smartphone text. We try to sort it out. You move the eyedropper until it's directly on top of a text or the shape that has the color. It's already on it. So we have what we want. So we click OK. Now it's here. To make it a bit darker the way we may want, just move this and you have already and you have achieved it. Is that okay? Good. Now what we do next is we click OK and we have the color here. Now we go to the top part. How do we add the color to the top part? Is we follow the same process just by clicking on this side of the of the tool, and then we click on it, and you can play with this. You can play with this to create different gradients of colors you want to mix together. Now, after highlighting it, we click on the same bucket, and then we use the eyedropper to go to this page, and then click on our sample image to pick the lighter color from the smartphone text. So by searching it out and positioning the eyedropper tool on it, the moment, remember the color you're seeing on the preview now on the display now is the background color. Now we have it. See, it's already in the preview. The preview shows you or tells you that you actually got what you're looking for or not. So now that we've gotten it, we click OK. It's light the way we want. We want to make it lighter so that it's it's highlighted properly. Now you see it. Now here we are. You can see the top here is lighter and the down here is darker. We may probably want to darken this down part a bit so that we can achieve, there can be difference in it. So we just go back to edit it, right? Sorry. Yes, we click on it, go back to edit it, and then we make it a bit darker by bringing it all to this side, dragging here to go darker a bit, and then we click OK. Now you see it is now looking darker. Now the top part is still looking not too light as in compare. We just go and highlight it and make it lighter by editing it, by taking it out. Okay, now it's lighter. So we go back. At least we can see that there's a difference now. It's more, the difference is clear now, right? But it's looking too lightish. Yeah? So we edit it. You continue editing it until you get the perfect feel you want for your design. Okay, so you now have an idea how this work, right? So what we do now is adjust it by moving it. Then we go and apply it to our smartphone. Now, if you notice something here, it's not applied on a straight line. Let's go and edit that and apply it. We want it on a straight line. So you make this straight, right? And we have it. Now you can see it. Isn't that beautiful? Now look at this. See? We now have exactly what we have in our sample image. Isn't that beautiful? Let's move on. The next text we want to edit is they go from a beginner to a pro in 2 weeks text, right? So what we do is we simply just want to bring it up. Let's quickly do that, and then we move to something happened there. Let me take it back. Then let's take it up so that it is okay. Is it too close? Seems. Let's drop the value to 1 and then bring it down a bit. Yes, it's okay. Perfect. Now let's lock it up. Whichever layer you're done with, lock it up so that it doesn't move out of place. Now that smartphone, let's centralize it, right? So that we'll be done with it. That is done. Let's go over to the next text and centralize that too by clicking it and clicking OK. Now we're done. See, those texts are all locked into place. They are no longer moving. Isn't that okay? Isn't that beautiful? The next thing we want to do is to bring in our shapes. So let's quickly do that. You already have it downloaded into your phone gallery from the group, I believe. So all we just need to do is to import it. Same way we always import everything. Import it into your job. Let's start by the logo image. We can import. Let's import all the images. Let's import the logo image. Use our 1:1 ratio, and then balance it out the way we want it to appear, and then import it into our. Let's do the same thing quickly with the other images, and then edit the shapes into place. Okay, we have this in. Let's do the same with the other 2 images. This, yes, we'll just have to import this the same way. into our image because it's a roll-up banner. We don't want to cut out any part of it. And then the last image, let's import it. And that's the flyer. Okay, so 1-to-1 ratio. We have it balanced out, and let's shape it into. Now we have them all here. Now, because they are here, we cannot actually have access to our screen right now till we start moving. So everything look disorderly. What we need to do, go to the layer and then disable each of them from the screen. So since we are going to start with the logo image, we disable this, disable these. Now you see they are no longer visible. Now we now have only the layer image up here now, isn't it? So let's size the layer, the logo image. Let's size it out immediately. No, this shouldn't take us much time. So let's remove the sample image, size this up. Remember, we want to create something like a portrait. So all we just do is, I am going to show you two options. Let me start with the shortcut version of it, and then here's the shortcut version. And then till I achieve what I want to achieve. Yes, by shaping it and resizing it. Now, this, remember I told you this button is for resizing, for increasing size, and is the shortcut to sizing up. This other button you see here, this other curve button you see on the corner here, that's the turning button, rotating button, shortcut. If you want to rotate your, depending on the angle you want to rotate your image. So let's immediately position this one here, right? Immediately. We want to have it in our shape, and then we want our shape not to be too, so because we still have some text we are going to add to it down here, and we don't want it to be clumsy, to be up in a cluster. So we reduce the size to the way we want it. And then remember, if you look at our, let's reduce our image because we need it to show out. Now, if you look at the image, you discover there's a white outline around it, a white outline around it like a frame. So to achieve that here, we have to add it with our, remember we're dealing with shape now, so we click the pentagon button, which is the shape button. Then we go to stroke and enable it. After enabling it, the default color for stroke is white, and we have a white frame around it. Now, if you look at our image, it has automatically shown a white outline around it. It is to the value of this stroke width you have here. It's to 2. And for this image, let's say we increase it up to, let's try it. You see, as you're adding it, you're seeing your stroke is becoming wider. No, 12 is too much. I want to do something like 7 or 8. Let's do it. 8 is good. Okay, right? So you see we have added the same thing to our work. We've achieved that. Now we want to do it for the remainder, the others too. Now, for us, remember this, to see all the sizing, we did it with the shaping and the sizing, we did it with the shortcut. Now, the other option is we use the size tool. And to use the size tool actually give you the particular value you want to use. So here you see what we're doing, what we have here is 14 by, the width is 14 while the height is 22 here. But assuming I don't want to work on both sides at the same time. Probably I just want to work on the width and then work on the height. All I just need to do is disable the ratio here, and then I want to reduce the height. Let me reduce it to like 18, right? Then reduce this to 12. Is that okay? Would that be beautiful for our work? Or let me increase the height to 19 and then increase this to 13 so that it can be visible. Our work can be visible. 20. Let's do 20. I think the space down here will be okay for the remaining text. We'll manage anyways. Yes. Then that is okay. So you see, now we have our shape. We now know the size, that it is by 14. The width is 14 while the height is 20. That is what we're going to do for the other images. So what do? We lock it into place, right? Done with that. we move on to the next. The next to it is the flyer, right? So we go to the flyer image here and we turn it on, turn on the visibility for it. Now you see it's on our screen. All we just want to do now, we go to the normal size tool and then reduce it, the width. The width is 14. You can reduce it with this negative sign or the positive sign, but let's just quickly do it with the shortcut. It's 14. So I've dropped it down to 14%. While now, if you notice, as I was dropping it, the height too is dropping. So you see how small it has reduced to, because they are both working, together. Once the ratio is enabled, so it maintains the ratio all around. Okay, it's a one to, it maintains the ratio 1 to 1. But if we want each to have its own ratio size differently, remember our height is 20, so we can increase it to 20. So you see, we now have our 20, same as, oh no, let's do it all over again. Let's do it. 14 and disable, increase to 20. Okay, that is it. Okay, so we now have our 20, right? The next is the packaging design, but first of all, let's add the stroke to our flyer image here. By clicking on the stroke tool, enable it, automatically is white, increase the width to 8, which was what we did with the logo image. So now we have it same thing. Let's lock it up immediately. We can quickly do this, and then we'll come here and do the same thing over again with these. The next one is the packaging image. So let's enable visibility. We now have it. These are works I did, so you can see them. I did this packaging also. Okay, now we now have to add this packaging. Okay, now in this case, I added the PNG. I like that this happened. All right, this is a package. I used it to design another logo previously. Sorry, another flyer previously. I built this package for a particular business, and then I added it to a particular flyer I was building. Now, I like that this happened. What this shows is that you can see that this is a PNG file. A .png file does not have a background. It is only the JPEG formats that comes with a background, just like your normal images. Now, this is a PNG file. Now, in a case where you are trying to incorporate it to create the same view like what we have here, all you just need to do, I'll just go over to the shape tool and then select the square shape here, isn't it? And then go over. Instead of me, okay, the simplest way for me to do it, I can even bring it into the shape tool from the gallery with the with a texture tool. But in this case now, I am sure what you downloaded in the Chrome is the JPG or the JPEG format of it. So yours is not in the PNG format. So you don't have to do all this. But since mine is in the PNG, I just have to incorporate it into the box and then I will merge them. So in this instance, because this happened now, you will now learn how to merge in the layer section. I have to merge two different shapes or multiple shapes into one in the layer section. So let's merge it. First of all, I'll bring the image to the front to the top by clicking then I size it into my shape, my square shape. Now, after sizing it to the square shape, you will find that it looks like a sieve. See, like as if they are both inside. I can even design it, add a shadow underneath or a reflection to it so that give it a shadow so that it looks like, no, but I don't want to add a shadow, let it be. In subsequent designs, you'll learn about adding shadows or no. So you see, I have it inside. Now, I want this shape to become one so that I can shape this thing out also. Probably I want to even shape it out self. Let me give it this look. Yes. So that the moment I come to that, I don't have to be resizing up and down again, right? So I want to place it at the middle of this. See, both are looking already like it's one image there. Okay. So what do I do? I just go over here, and I do this. I blend those two images together. And for me to merge those two images, my image and my shape, I come down here and click on this at the bottom here. The moment I click on it, you see I now have options, the delete, the edit, and whatever. All I just need to do, those two, the particular layers you want to merge together into one, go to those layers, click on them, select them, and then come down to this double box image you're seeing down here. Click on it, and you see, are you sure you want to merge the selected object? Confirm it by clicking OK. Both of them have been merged automatically. You can see that, right? They are merged. So you see, it has become one image. Now I now have a JPEG image for it. That is it. So you have learned something else again. Now I want to reduce it to the size of the other images, and we already know what the size is. And we just do the same thing by dropping the width to 14 as usual. Okay. Remember that the stroke we're going to add to this particular image is not going to be visible, but we will still add it so that we have exact size as the other images. So we disable this, and okay, height is 20. Automatically we have achieved our height for this image. We come here and we drop it along the others. I'm going to show you how to position them to be in the same line so that it does not, one is not up while the other is down or something. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. Now let's add the stroke quickly to this image. Enable the stroke, and the stroke width is 8. We've been adding 8, so we have done it. So automatically our image is now the same shape as the other. That is the only way we can be able to get exact shape as the other. Now the next thing, let's quickly add the last shape, which is the roll-up banner. Okay, by enabling visibility for it, and then we bring it to the fore by clicking to front, yes, so that we can see what we're doing. Now you see it is already in a portrait format. Of course, roll-up banners are in portrait format, so all we just need to do is to size it up to look like to the same size as the others by going to the size, and then in this one we drop it down to the 14 years, and you can see that the height is still 28. A disable ratio and drop it to 20. We'll be using the height of 20% since, so it's now the same size with the other image. All we just need to do is to add our stroke to it, add the stroke to it, enable increase to 8, and we have all our shape the same sizes. Now, how do we make our images? Something happened there. Yeah. Okay. I think it didn't incorporate. No. Okay. We now have our image. Okay. I think I know what happened there. Okay. Let's do. We'll reduce it.